Thank you. Our next speaker is Jan Whetstone, followed by Zuma Dog, followed by James Harris, Robbie Hunter, and then we'll go out to the San Fernando Valley. Jan Whetstone. Okay, if Jan's not here, oh, there you are.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Very proud to be here today. My name is Jan Whetstone Brooks. I am a journeyman electrician from IBEW Local 11 in Los Angeles, and now I'm currently serving as an outreach coordinator for the State Building and Construction Trades Council of California. But my life wasn't always like this. I was a single teenage mother that got out of high school without a high school diploma. Worked a series of low-wage jobs without benefits, ended up trying to go on to college and realized I didn't like the confinement of the classroom and the boring curriculum. And luckily, after being on welfare for about 4 or 5 years, I found a youth build program and apprenticeship preparation through job links, and I was turned on to the union apprenticeship programs. In 1997, I left my $456 welfare check behind to become a first period apprentice in the electricians, and now I make over $70,000 a year. I was then and I am still a resident of South LA, and in doing outreach, there are many people out there that are like me, that are bright. They don't have direction. They need an outlet. They need to get away from gangs. They need to get away from welfare. And we need to really focus on putting good skilled trades in front of them, like these union apprenticeship programs. So I ask and encourage that all of you support the PLA and all of the unions. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm James Harris, Chair of the Southwest Neighborhood Council, and we stand in agreement, good morning, with the Project Labor Agreement because we believe this will benefit our community, benefit our stakeholders. Many of our stakeholders are caught in a senseless, hopeless spiral, and we think that this is one of the mechanisms that will offer hope. And at the end of the day, we support this wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you. Robbie Hunter and then Zuma Dog.
Good morning. Robbie Hunter, Ironworkers Union. You know, there's so many good sides to this thing for the city of Los Angeles. And as we all know, you know, a good job with a trade that they can't close a factory down, they can't ship it to another country because the guy's got the skills right on his fingers. When he finishes a project, he can go to another project, he can buy a house, he can help his community. And we have contractors that, that come in here from other states, they even own LA City jobs. They don't carry California workman's comp and they can get a lower bid in. And, but the clause is they can't hire any California citizens. And so, you know, in the city that we live in, we want these kids, tens of thousands of them coming out of high school every year in this area. We want them with trades, we want them with jobs, we want to give them an alternative from the street corner. And this is, keeps the tax base right in the city, and it's a win-win. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Robbie. Zuma Dog, followed by Miriam Fogler.
Yes, I'd like to say on this one, I don't think anybody actually, one second here. I don't think anybody actually said what this does or read it to the people watching. It's the CRA, and it's about construction careers. And of course, that's good. Now, it's basically, I think that all CRA-funded projects will only be having union workers at this point. If that's, am I correct? Am I correct in what that this is about? No? Okay, well, see, there's already some misconceptions, but I'd like to say the one thing that's important for the people here is that the city uses documented workers because a lot of jobs are being lost to non-documented people who are taking jobs from the people who are then taxed by the city and whatnot, so I'd like to see something like that. And also that I hope that people indigenous to the area are used for these jobs, okay? In the hiring for these projects, the local people, it doesn't do any good if the people are going to be coming from Orange County or Lancaster. So that's the one thing. I got a call on the cell phone while this was going and say, Zuma Dog, if you could just say, please make sure that these projects, if they're going to do this, make sure they use local people indigenous to the area. And then I'd like to add on top of that, please make sure that we don't have non-documented workers working on CRA projects, because then it hurts the tax base, the revenue base, and then the people, you know, are being taxed to death and they can't afford it and they can't get jobs. So that's something I hope you do also. Thank you.
Miriam Fogler be our last speaker. She's out in the San Fernando Valley.
Folks, you should look up, and I love all you guys who work for the private unions. You should not be taking public money, okay? Get money from the private corporations. They can afford this stuff. You don't need a CRA to do it, to give you careers in working. Believe me, we didn't have this until 1949, the CRA, and I'm trying to remember that. The thing is, they're taking the money away from our essential services. Do you want to pay more money, pay money for the police through fees, trash fees? Do you want to, all this stuff you need to consider that you're using this agency. It's illegal, it's bad, it takes all the tax revenues away. All these projects freeze the tax increment money that goes to police, fire department, and this is why they want to put a trash fee, they want to put all this fee on this reserve book, all this stuff. Zuma, check it out. I'm telling you right now, look under Howard Watts, because he used to go to CRA meetings for years and years and years, and he documented all the times that they have taken monies from the city, and he has everything is all documented there. Anybody that really wants to see what I have been through this, I experienced what this agency is like, what it is, and what it does, and what it can, and what it is doing to the city. It is sapping the life out of the city, and before you know it, we won't have any money left, because all the money is going to this private corporation, the CRA Community Redevelopment Agency. It's a private entity using public money and getting the tax base. The property taxes are going to this agency instead of going to the city. Please, folks, do not get down on anybody else, but this is the fault of the agency, and I take commendation for you guys are really doing a good job yourselves. Don't they think I'm not knocking you guys down. Just check this out. And the unions that are in the CRA, you're shooting yourselves in the foot, because they're going to try to take away your raises and do all that stuff. So check out the agency who you're working for. Don't let them get away with this.
Thank you very much.
Illegal.
Our last speaker just came in, card. Eleanor Robbins, is that? I'm sure. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Elania Robbins, and I am with the Los Angeles Urban League. I am the Manager of Business and Employment Services at the Los Angeles Urban League, and also a proud member and board member of the United Job Creation Council. We have been pushing very hard for this policy to go through. You wouldn't believe the number of constituents that come into our centers, the work source centers, seeking employment, and we are continuously turned away by employers in Los Angeles County to help these people get jobs. This policy will help us to help the community, to help the city of Los Angeles to build lives and to give people a chance, a second chance at life. You wouldn't believe the number of people that are honestly, seriously ready to go back to work. And they have no other choice but to turn away and go back to prison. We want to turn down this recidivism rate and get people to work and get lives going again. Please, please, on behalf of the Los Angeles Urban League, United Job Creation Council, and the CRA, I strongly support this policy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Garcetti, followed by Mr. Wiesar, Mr. Zine, Ms. Hahn, and Mr. Reyes.
Let me start with an apology to Patty Giggins and all the Denim Day folks. Jack Weiss did a great job of queuing up first, and the clerk called this one, so thank you for your patience. We got two great progressive causes back to back, and my apologies to my colleague Jack Weiss as well. We're looking forward very much to the Denim Day presentation. Also, any day where there's any week, excuse me, we have Mike Massey on 2 days, and he did the building trades proud yesterday when we passed the largest green building ordinance in America, is a good week. So thank the trades for your support on that. I'm very proud to work closely in expediting this in council. I want to thank our chair, Herb Wesson. I was on an aircraft carrier when it came into committee, but his great work, give him a round of applause for what he's done. You know, this begs a question. Why do we monitor the work sites? Why do we call developers and tell them it's important to have union labor and to have high wages, wages that empower us? Why do we spend the time doing this? And make no mistake, this is not easy work. Anybody just needs to look at Robbie Hunter's face about a month ago to know how difficult and how people put their lives on the line to protect the working men and women that are in the audience today. It's important for two reasons. We want to build with our redevelopment stability in two ways. We want the very stable buildings that the men and women who are out here build every single day. But we also want community stability, a city in which we don't have the haves and the have-nots. And community redevelopment also means two things in Los Angeles. It means economic development, but it also means human development. It isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about families. It's about lives. It's about a Los Angeles that reflects itself. It's about making sure that the face of LA is in the workforce of LA. And that's why it's so important and why I want to thank our Community Redevelopment Agency and this council and this mayor who have pushed for this. Because some would say, doesn't this cost us a little bit more? But I'll tell them, you know what costs more? When you pay cheap, we all pay the cost for that. When we don't recycle our own dollars in the community, we all wind up paying that in health care costs when people can't afford health care for their own family, in affordable housing subsidies when we can't get people to be self-sufficient and buy their own homes and live in their own apartments, when we have to pay the costs of the short-term cost of living cheap is very expensive in the long term. So this might seem like it costs a little bit more, but the reality is this saves us all money and it builds the stability and the community development that we want to see in Los Angeles. So I thank you for helping work with us to make that. That reality will happen, and I ask you for your support today, colleagues, in making history in the city of Los Angeles with this project labor agreement for our Community Redevelopment Agency. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wiesar.
Thank you very much, Madam President. And first and foremost, I want to thank the CRA for bringing this forward. I'm very thrilled to see this in the city of Los Angeles because I've witnessed how successful and how beneficial project labor agreements are for the citizenry in which it serves. When I served on the Board of Education, the $16 billion program to build schools, I was very proud to be the champion to bring a project labor agreement there, and we've seen the benefits. We have a local hiring program where when we want to build schools and you see children's parents working on those schools, you're building community. People take ownership over those buildings that are being constructed. We also had a career ladder program where we used our adult schools to put young people into those adult schools, into apprenticeship programs, and now they're making good wages, contributing back to society, as we've heard back from many of the speakers here today. They work, they're successful, we've got to do more of these. I think we've seen the success at the school district, and I want to thank the CRA for bringing this forward and having the foresight. And to all of you out there, we got to work together to keep doing what we're doing, because we're not only building physical structures. Like our council president said, we're contributing to human development, which is much more important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wiesar. Mr. Zine.
Thank you, Mr. President. Cecilia, I want to recognize you as the leader of CRA. If you take a bow to the audience here, please. Our general manager from CRA. She has a law background. She worked for the city attorney, so she knows how to get things done. Obviously, you're getting things done here. I'm very happy to have a CRA area in my district. Canoga Park, due to the efforts of the CRA, won All-American City due to the efforts of CRA. So there was some comments about the CRA and wasting taxpayers' dollars. I now have an area, Reseda, which is going through a CRA $50-some million that's going to be invested in improving the community of Reseda. In addition, I've got a $500 million project underway in Westfield, and we're going to make sure that those projects work with the group that we have here to make sure that those jobs are here for the people that need those jobs. The individual that came up and spoke who was in prison, who got his life back in line, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give people a job so they can be productive members of society, clean the prisons out, put people to work, and make it a productive society. So all of you that are here, I appreciate what you're doing. You've got my support with it. It's going to continue in my district. Not only with the CRA project that is underway in Reseda, but also the Westfield project, another $500 million project to put people to work, to give the apprenticeship, to make sure that they have those opportunities. And to the county fed, Mary Elena, are you still here? Really? Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. We had a meeting also to discuss how this network's going to work. So I don't want you folks to think that the Valley's not involved. We're very much involved in this, so we will continue to work with you, alongside with you as partners, to give these jobs to the people. So again, our City of the Angels will be bright with the angels. Thank you all very much for being here, and thanks for supporting this.